We did it. 4 months in real estate. I started in August 4th, 2025. In my very first video, I talked a lot about scripts, open house scripts, systems, a lot of stuff that I really don't talk about anymore. And this has just been a crazy 4 months of my life. Just in May, I graduated college, saved up a bunch of money in my leasing job, moved out on my own, and started my entrepreneurial journey. So we're in month 4, and you know that this has been a really crazy month. I've made not as many videos as I did in October, but that's partially because I don't believe I need to make a video every single day anymore. But I want to really go over what these 4 months have been. I really want to reflect on the previous 4 months, especially the first 3 at first. And then we're also going to be going over what goals I had for month 4, which is in November, and did we hit our goals? Did we accomplish what we wanted to accomplish in month 4? So we'll go ahead and talk about that. We're also going to be talking about expectations for 2025 and the beginning of 2026. We're near the end of the year, and it's about time we start planning for that, which thankfully enough, I've already developed a strategy. As you can tell, new setting, bed back there. This is actually my bedroom. I'm moving into my new apartment tomorrow, so this setting will change most likely here in a couple days. They're going to give me a little bit of wiggle room to move. So let's go over the first 4 months of real estate. The first month of real estate was in August, and during that time, I really wanted to make sure that I just wanted to get embedded in the world of, the business that is, real estate agency. And so I networked with a lot of people, met a lot of other realtors, got to familiarize myself with Hamilton County, especially in Westfield. And I was trying to find out who I really was and what I was trying to accomplish. I was looking up open house scripts, which is crazy. I was getting really into open houses, posting stuff on social media. September was sort of the carry-on to that. I finally started reaching out to for sale by owners in the beginning of September. I got several listing previews scheduled, and it really felt like I got a lot of stuff in the pipeline. And then all of a sudden at the end of September, everything just flatlined. All of my leads stopped talking to me. I lost all my potential business, and I was in a very tough pickle. And when it came to the beginning of October, I started to realize that my money was wearing very thin, and it freaked me out. You guys remember, day 62, total dread. I had a meltdown on camera. And the month of October and parts of November were some of the hardest moments of my real estate journey. It was by far the hardest. What am I talking about? It was difficult. It was hell. Day 50 to day 100 was just... I thought I wasn't going to get any clients until a year into the industry. I'm not even kidding. I was literally open to just working a full-time job because, what other choice did I have? I didn't even know my friend wanted to move in with me. What could I have done? And there was just periods upon periods upon periods of me just feeling like I'm going to give up. And although I never told myself that I was going to, it just came in the back of my mind of is this ever going to end? Life was just genuinely painful. I hated asking for money. I hated doing all these things. And life just became awful. Until November 12th, when I found my first client. So the month of November has been actually insane. And I want to talk about the goals that I had. What were the goals that I had in November? Well, I'll tell you what. My first goal was to have 2 listing appointments. So 2 listing appointments and 1 buyer consultation. I was not expecting to get any contracts signed in November. Because, let's face it. It wasn't happening in October. It didn't happen in September. What's going to change in November? That's just going to get people to want to sign with me, right? Well, I was wrong. This has by far been the most successful month of the business that I have had by infinite amounts. Let me drink some water. To start things off, I signed 1 listing. Now, with this listing, what's important is that they don't end up accepting an offer before the contract goes live, because there is a chance that she could accept an offer and I don't make any money, and it's like, well, but even if that does happen and I don't technically get my first listing, which I don't think is going to happen, I think it will go live and I'll be able to host it for her, list it for her. It's always a possibility, but even then, I got to the closing table, she signed papers. I look at that as an achievement, a monumental achievement. I have found 4 buyers, 4 buyer contracts written. And all of them did come from referrals from other agents in the office. But you know what? They don't just give out leads to people, right? They just don't do that. They don't give out leads. They knew that I was going to capitalize on that because they noticed my hard work. And I think that is the bottom line of everything here. I was in a phase of my real estate journey where I should have given up. Truthfully, I should have given up. When you go through months of no money, of no progress, of nothing, and people rejecting you all the time, whether that be open houses, whether that be for sale by owners, whether that be on social media, and you start to see all these other agents that just do so much better than you, this is where most people would have quit. I'm convinced. And Kevin said that, Tyler said that, everyone I knew said this to me. You should have quit. Why would you keep going? Because I understand that if I would have quit, it would have hurt so much more than what I was going through at the moment. So I said no. And day 98, you saw the video. Day 98, I said, I refuse to lose. No, we're not losing this game. I'm going to keep moving, keep clawing, keep scratching until I get what I want. And I don't care how long it's going to take. And I know that as long as I stay disciplined and consistent like I have, then my time will come. And there you go. 5 contracts, 5 written clients in November of 2025. How incredible is that? The clients, very great people, very nice people. My for sale by owner, she's very sweet, very nice, and she knew that this was my first listing that I would have signed, and I did it. And she didn't seem to really care about the fact that this would have been my first listing. Because what I did was I used everything I've learned through when I was a freshman, age 19 years old. When I was 19, I read the book How to Win Friends and Influence People. That book changed my life, and it is the reason why I got this listing. I cared about her situation. I listened. I cared about what she was saying, of course. And I also provided an immense amount of value that was specifically tailored to her. And it wasn't to hype me up. It was so that I can say, hey, here is how I'm going to help you save money. I wrote down all the numbers and everything. And that's why she decided to work with me. And that is not something that I would have done in my first 3 months. Because everything felt so scripted in the beginning. Why do you need to do scripts for open houses? Why do you need to have a script to just have a conversation with somebody? You don't do that. You do not do that. But you need to have systems of it, of course. Let me just put it this way. The thing I've noticed from month 1 to month 4 is that I am not focused on the shallow work like I used to be. I am not focusing on open house scripts every morning. I don't have to wake up at 7 a.m. every morning. I don't have to be in the office from 8 to 5. And even though I'm leaving the office at like 2 p.m., 3 p.m., and I'm getting there at like 10, I'm literally getting an infinite amount more of work done. And that has all to do with efficiency, right? I mean, when you start to build skills in any career that you're trying to get into, you are optimizing yourself for efficiency. And you're going to become ultimately more efficient at the tasks that you do, right? I mean, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. No, but that is true. And so I've been way more efficient with my time. And I haven't been wasting as much time. And I'm also scheduling more of my time going on showings with clients and getting them pre-approved for a mortgage and focusing on how I'm going to help her sell her home. So I'm also working on tasks that are the next step of my career, which is marketing a listing, writing offers, negotiations, setting up a listing. It's like things that I just am going to need to learn. And it's a great thing that I'm learning that now. So this has been a wonderful month, and it has gone so much better than I would have thought. It's a miracle almost. I don't even know what to say. Hold on one second. I'm going to get more water. And you know what? This wasn't just me. Although I grew up in a working middle class family in a small rural town in Indiana, and I got into college almost for free, and I didn't grow up with a lot of money, I truly do not believe that there is a thing called self-made. The book Self-Made by Entrepreneurial is what got me into real estate. But truth be told, growing up and developing wisdom as an entrepreneur is realizing that you can't do it alone and that you're going to need all the help you can get to get you there. And this is a continuation process. You're always going to continue to learn and grow, and you're going to be learning from other people, no matter how far you are into the business. I want to give credit where credit's due, okay? I want to give credit to Vince, my twin brother. I give credit to you because I've called you, I've complained, I've cried, I've been excited talking to you. You've put up with my stuff, and you're my best friend. You're my favorite person in the world. I love you, bro. If the only path of my life was to go to hell and it was with you, then I would take it because that's how much I care about Vince, my brother. I want to give credit to my friends and family, to my mom, to my dad, to my siblings, to Jack, my best friend, to Dylan, my best friend, to all my other friends out there. Most importantly, I want to give all the glory to God. I really do think, my faith has been a continuing journey that I've been learning and trying to grow from. I got baptized in 2023, and I genuinely believe that my life has gotten so much better since I've allowed God into my life. Seriously, all the glory to God. I also want to give credit to the people in my office. So to Tyler Korn, to Kevin Hudaba, to everybody else in the office, to Sean Hartwick, to Todd Dinkman, to everybody, literally everybody in the office. To Christina, seriously, thank you guys. I don't know where I would be without having a great network of entrepreneurs who are willing to help me. Same thing with Billy Sudlack. Thanks, Billy. Mark Kuchik, thank you. And all these people they make so much more money than me. But it's so weird because for the first time in my life, I feel like I'm up there with them. And I'm only 23 years old. Sometimes I think about that and I find it very interesting. And this is not me to brag. I'm not bragging. This is me saying that I saw an opportunity in my life and I took it. I took that opportunity to network and grow connections and build relationships with very great people. And I give all the credit to them and credit to myself, obviously, for putting in the work. But I really want to make this about them. So thank you guys, everybody. Thank you. Now, I got that out of the way. I actually want to, before we get on to the plans for December in 2026, let's talk about what I've learned. Not just this is what a listing contract looks like, or here's how contingencies work. No, nothing like that. I'm talking generalized business advice that I think you guys are actually going to want to learn. So what have I learned? What have I learned in this journey so far? First thing I have learned is that this is a long process. If you're my age, if you're between 19, 18 through 25, please listen to me. Do not listen to those people that tell you that starting a business is something that you can build an immense level of success overnight. It is not possible. The people that you see that build success overnight are people that have failed a continuous amount of times. You just didn't see it yet. And maybe they already had a successful business to begin with, and then they started a new venture, and there you go. But even then, that took countless years to master. This pursuit of entrepreneurship, this pursuit of owning a business is not a short game, and people need to stop thinking that it is. Because as soon as you start thinking that this is an easy, or not even an easy, just a short game, you're going to be tied into the instant gratification, and then when you don't see the results as soon as you would like, you're done. You're out. You need to understand that it is perfectly normal for this stuff to take years to build up. And if you're between my age, you got all the time in the world. Now, I don't want to say, be relaxed and not care. What I'm trying to say is that you don't have to make $1 million in 2 years. You don't. Okay? The internet has saturated society so much where it's like, you got to have it now. No, you don't. No, you don't. This is a long process. What's another thing that I've learned? Well, the other thing that I've learned is that if you're not willing to ask people for help and you're not willing to ask questions and learn, you are not going to go far in this business. This isn't even just real estate. If you're not willing to learn and take advice from other people in general, not even just in business but in life, you're going to be extremely handicapped. Humans are a social species. We live, thrive, and breathe on social interactions. Despite, what some people might tell you, people that game in their room all day or whatever. But truth be told is that is a core presence of our society. And because of that, we are all different and unique in our own way. I've always said this from day one. We have a superpower. And we are all good at different things. Okay, you're not going to be the jack of all trades. So that's why it's so important for you to learn, seek advice, ask questions, especially ask questions to people that, are ahead of you that you want to eventually be like. Right? I mean, I think this stuff is so crucial, but you cannot have this limiting mindset and pretend that you know everything. You don't need to, and you will grow and even be better if you don't. Right? So that is so crucial. Those two things have been invaluable to me. Another thing that I'm thinking about is that your big why needs to be strong. What is your why? Why do you do this? And before you answer that question, I want you to really think. When you are asking yourself this question, is it automatically towards an external thing? My kids, my family, my dog, this or that. I want to go out traveling. I want to do this stuff. What happens when that stuff is taken away from you? It is not bad to have your big why be about your kids and your family and stuff like that. I think that is beautiful. And that is something that should really inspire you to keep going. But let's say in the very worst case scenario, that stuff is gone. What is something that no one can take from you? What is your big why that is so strong that you literally cannot get it taken away from you? And you already know my big why. I've said it in several of these videos, but in case you haven't watched these videos, really quick, I have been given all the opportunities to be successful, and therefore I feel like I am obligated to give back to the world in teaching people what I have learned, whether that be through business, life, self-improvement, through books, through coaching, through classes, through real estate, whatever I'm doing. I want to teach people what I have learned, and I want to make society a better place. That's my big why. That is why I get out of this bed every morning. I make my bed every morning, and I am on the move every single second. It is constantly on my mind. I obsess over it. I starve for it. I starve for success. And it means everything to me. Your big why matters a lot. So, last thing I want to talk about in this video. What are the goals for December? And better yet, what does 2026 look like? Okay. Start things off. Let's start off with December. If I got in 4 contracts with buyers this month, let's make it 5. Let's get 5 buyer contracts in December. And let's get 1 listing. We're going to think a little bit stronger now. Let's do 1 listing, 5 buyers. Why not? If that is the case, if I meet my goal, we would have already had 9 clients. And let's say all of them close, that's 10 transactions. That's almost 10 transactions in real estate in 2 months. That's insane. That's insane. That is rookie of the year numbers, truthfully. I think December is going to be a great month. But you know what I think is going to be even better? is seeing my twin brother. He's going to be coming home. And the start of 2026, I'm going to be going to see my dad for a week. It's going to be fun. Let's talk about 2026. I think 2026 is going to be the biggest year of my life. Straight up. It will be the year where I gain immense power, build the most skills, and generate by far the most revenue I have ever generated at anything. And I will be making more than most IU graduates by 2026. Like, when you talk about a Kelley School of Business graduate from IU who majored in finance and accounting and works at a Big Four accounting firm, Deloitte, PwC, KPMG, Deloitte, PwC, KPMG, I'm forgetting one, PwC, I don't know, Big Four accounting firms, right? I don't know if you guys can hear that, it's my washer jingle. Hold on. Those Kelley graduates are likely making anywhere between $60,000 to $80,000. I would have made more if I achieved the goal. If I had closed 30 homes, I will by far be ahead of that. And I will win Rookie of the Year. I already know my competition. I already know who I'm competing against. And Rookie of the Year, it doesn't matter to most people. Like, genuinely, it doesn't. And maybe it's immature for me to care about that. But that is a standard I put on myself. The fact that I got into real estate so passionately, it's like I have to win Rookie of the Year. Right? I mean, that's just the expectation for me. So this will be a big year for me. But I think it all has to do with the math. Close 30 homes, build my physique better, see my friends and family more often, go out and travel if I would like to, just to, learn, and really expand my horizons as far as meeting new people goes. It will be the craziest year of my life in a good way. And I'm so excited for it. It's going to be such a great year. And this year in general, wow. Just wow. January, I was studying for my real estate exam. I am 5 times ahead of most agents. 10 times ahead of most agents. And it took me 5 times to pass the real estate exam. I've heard most people it only takes them 1 time. It took me 5. And guess what? Look what I have to cover for it. It's a blessing. Truly, truly a blessing. And let's start December. December is going to be such a fun month. I am excited. So excited. Let's end this year off with my best month in real estate. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys on next video. Take care. See ya.